Good morning. What's your name?
Jamie Wolgemuth, County Administrator here in the County Commissioner's Office.
And Jamie, you're our PIO, which is a Public Information Officer as well. And we're under a lockdown of sorts here at the county because the public can't come in.
Right.
And so I think people need to hear from us exactly what's going on and why are the employees still coming to work. And, they need some reassurance that everything's going to be okay. What kinds of things have you been working on this morning? What can you share that's going on?
This morning we've primarily been dealing with logistics of how to manage without the doors being open to the public. So doing a lot of things on how do we accept our deliveries. People who want to maybe pay their taxes in person are used to doing that. They like to know that they've delivered it themselves. Rather than send it through the mail, we're in the process of putting a drop box at the parking lot entrance to the courthouse. All activity, if there is any in and out of the building, is happening at the parking lot entrance. The only public in the building that we're anticipating would be if someone has some sort of a court emergency, whether it's a protection from abuse or some sort of child abuse allegation, anything like that that the court would have to deal with as an emergency. Those are really the only situations we can foresee that we might be allowing someone to come in here. And for obvious reasons, we're just trying to protect the employees and the public themselves. Not only do we want to keep as many employees healthy here as we can, but there are ways that the public could even be transmitting it among themselves here in the building. And, for example, going through security, you're passing your items. Not everyone maybe be wearing gloves or observing all the precautions, and so you could come in here and be as precautionary as you can, but the other person may not be, and so that could transfer things. It could happen in court. It can happen in our jury trials, and so the decision was made to just completely shut down from the public. However, we are still conducting business. All of the employees who are healthy and able, and then we're having a good result in that regard, are here and are able to do things. We would encourage any type of business to be done by email, by fax, by telephone, to be done. And when you really boil it down, there's a lot that we can do that way. So that's what we're up to.
Well, that's a lot. I mean, as a county, what we do is serve the most vulnerable populations, and you mentioned some of them, the children, and through children and youth with child abuse investigations and things of that nature. But the seniors are extremely vulnerable too, because their immune systems maybe are not what a child's might be. Can you tell us some of the things that might be calming to seniors that's going on?
Well, the Meals on Wheels, for example, we're still doing that. We consider that to be essential because some people, rely on that every day for their nourishment. So we are still conducting that so long as we have drivers who are available and able to do that.
So Meals on Wheels will still go out?
Yes.
That is reassuring.
Yeah. Obviously our senior centers, which are public gathering, those are closed. The office staff is still there for any allegations of abuse or something that we might have for elder abuse to investigate, that sort of thing. Fortunately, I think with the federal government mandating a lockdown of all nursing homes, I think that may alleviate some of the concerns of the spread of the virus, or hopefully, obviously that's the intention of it. So any of the services we provide to the elderly, from a social service delivery standpoint, are still in place. We are concerned with our Renova Center, which has a very vulnerable population. That has been locked down now for I think the better part of a week. Transmission of any sort of flu or anything in there is always a concern, not just coronavirus, but any flu there is a real threat to the health of our residents. At the 911 center, obviously, we've got 28 dispatchers who are on staff there, and their health is of the highest priorities. So when the population at some point may become sick, they're going to be using 911 for ambulance services, and we have to have all of those seats filled. So that department has been in lockdown, has not allowed anyone but staff into that department for now the last week. So and there's some others. There's some others that we just have maybe as our primary concern. Some of the lesser concern right now are things like whether or not someone can apply for a building permit, for a deck. I mean, obviously, I think it goes without saying those sorts of things can wait, pool permits, things like that. I mean, while we'll still have the information available on our website, there really is no need for anybody to have to get into the building to do something like that right now.
How about at the prison? That's a pretty big population. Some people, their term will have ended. I mean, what's going to happen there?
The court is still processing those, so no one's going to be remaining in prison any longer than they would need to be. Obviously, they will just, if their date of release happens to fall, that will be honored just as any other. The visitation at the prison has been limited to non-contact only. The lobby of the prison is the non-contact visitation area. There are telephones through glass panels that can still be utilized. They're being cleaned on a much more frequent basis. So any sort of attorney visits, family visits, clergy visits, counseling, anything like that is all now been restricted to the non-contact area. And we're taking all sorts of precautions by questioning anyone coming into intake, limiting the transports in and out of the facility. Prime Care Medical, which is our recently hired contractor for medical provision there, has been prepared for this for a long time, and they do this sort of thing at prisons all over Pennsylvania, and we have the utmost confidence in their preparations.
And how does the sheriff's office enter into all this?
I'm not certain, actually, as I sit here, to know whether or not the level of warrant service has been maintained there or not. That's something that I just simply don't know. But as far as necessary transports for the prison or for the court, they would make if they need to. But again, the court is taking all sorts of precautions, and if they can do it by video, they will. We're working hard right now to set something up if we don't already have it in place for that. So.
But has the sheriff's deputies taken over the back door versus having our other monitors there? Yeah,
we have sheriff's deputies posted at the parking lot door of the courthouse, and they will be screening people through the door, essentially, communicating with them that way to see if there is an emergency that they must enter or not, and if not, then they'll need to find other means to do business.
Yeah, the sheriff's deputies tend to be a little younger, and our door monitors tend to be senior citizens, so this will also help to protect them.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Yeah. What did I forget to ask you? What else would you like to say? What would you like to close with today?
Just ask everyone to heed all the warnings. This is really unprecedented in our society, and some of it's hard to take, some of it's hard to fathom, but it's also hard to fathom what this might be like if we don't. So, I've my own thoughts about this over the last week have been: are we going too far, or are we not going far enough? And just when you start to think that, someone else is already taking that precaution. So while we a week ago met with department heads to tell them to prepare for having reduced staff, at the same time, it seemed like suddenly everyone else was doing the same thing, so it didn't seem so proactive. It seemed like it was just in time. Same with yesterday's announcement that we're closing the courthouse and municipal building here and all other satellite offices to public. Seemed like, well, are we getting a little ahead of things? Turns out the governor was simultaneously having a press conference where he was limiting the public's access to a lot of places. So again, that was just in time, not too early. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for everything you do for the County of Lebanon, and I'd like to also thank all of the employees. Together we will get through this, and the services that are provided by the county are invaluable to the residents, and it is our job to give a sense of calm. So you've done that today. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.